Namaskar. Hello and welcome to 𝗑𝗙 Guru's channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer, and today 𝗏𝗏 joins me, Ask Sumit episode 63, and we have a very juicy topic to discuss about current visit of Prime Minister Modi to Cyprus and how he is beginning to poke Turkey. Let's welcome 𝗏𝗏. Sumitji, namaskar and welcome to 𝗑𝗙 Guru's channel. How are you?
Jai Siya Ram, Radhe Radhe sir, all good and fine by you, Ashirwad and Kripa of Lord Mahakal. Namaskaram to you and all the viewers.
Sumitji, I have a small story to tell. Maybe I'll tell it later because first I want you to come in with the bang line. Remind me about the story, okay? So,
Sure.
talk to us a little bit about what is happening in Cyprus visit of Prime Minister Modi.
Okay, sir, we'll take the blessings of Lord Sri Ganesh to begin with. And look, after the Operation Sindoor, Modi ji is going to for the G7 meeting to Canada. But then we came to know that it's a 5-day trip. And he'll be stopping by Cyprus, spending a night there, and then going to G7. While coming back, he'll be going to Croatia and then on the way to Delhi. That is what the agenda is. Now, after Operation Sindoor, the first step or the first country which Indian Prime Minister chooses is Cyprus. Now, what is Cyprus? Cyprus is something which is which I have a first-hand experience because I lived in Limassol for 2 years. So I know the place well. I've traveled the length and breadth of the island and traveled pretty much in and out of Cyprus. Now, Cyprus is a very strategic country. A lot of people may not know because it looks to be a small island. It has a shape of a comet. Like comets have tail, the island has a tail. So it looks like a comet-shaped island. What is so important, Cyprus great about it? It might be one of those islands somewhere. First of all, Cyprus is part of EU. Cyprus is at the crossroads of Europe, Middle East, and Asia. That is what is said. And Cyprus is a very, very strategic military base for a lot of countries, including United States of America, UK, and I have myself seen those big bases and those big, these antennas and all those listing posts. There was a time when Cyprus was called the land of spies. It was believed that every third foreigner there is a spy because every country's spies were there. And still the biggest spy games and the biggest geopolitical games are still played in Cyprus. It is a country wherein every intelligence has an outpost. It's a country where every intelligence works and tries to check and maneuver each other. It is a country where you would go to exchange a dollar. Let's say you had $100, you would go to a bank. And there was a bank called 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 bank. I still remember. I had my account there. You go to a bank. Let's say they will give you 10 pounds. But if you go to a nearby shop, they will give you 10.5 pounds. Because those shops were controlled by Russian mafia. So they would give you more money. So Cyprus was, for a normal person, it was a normal place. But for a person who was into this line, it was the place to be. And one of the most dangerous places to be in. Now, Cyprus, if you look at it, it has two parts. First is what we call as the Greek Cyprus. Predominantly Cypriots, Greek origins. They have high, they believe in this worship or what you call the paddhati of worship or the way of worship is Greek Orthodox Church. And the tip on the tail of the island, northern part of Cyprus, is called Turkish Cyprus. When I went there, I didn't know what is the difference between this Cyprus and that Cyprus. Eventually, I figured out. And one day, you have to take an approval, and there's a UN buffer zone between them. You have to take approval to go on the other side. When you go into the Turkish part of the Cyprus, the first thing you will get is you walked 50 years back into time. It's this part and that part is not comparable. The main business of Cyprus is tourism. And there are a lot of people who only work on tourism and do nothing. And it is full of hotels and restaurants and all and all. Beautiful place. I recommend you once to go there. Now, what happens is now, this part of the island was taken over by Turkey. There was 1974. There was a coup orchestrated, which Erdogan orchestrated, says that he wants to kind of liberate these Turkish Cypriots. Cypriots, but with Turkish origins, essentially Muslims for that matter. And that's why I'm coming to liberate them. So what happened? They came to help them and they never left the island. 37% of the island is with Turkey. So it's called Republic of Northern Cyprus, Republic of Turkey. Now there are only two countries who recognize that part. One is Turkey and second is Pakistan. Minus these two countries, nobody recognizes that. But though that part of the island has beautiful beaches, it's more resounding than this part. This part is not less, is again great. So when you talk of Cyprus, a lot of activities. And if you watch the infamous movie Munich, when the team goes to eliminate a few people across the world, they also land up in Cyprus. the place they land up is also Cyprus, where they eliminate the person in the hotel. There's a hotel in between, the person is in the next room, they put a bomb and eliminate him. So that was Cyprus for you. So Cyprus still continues to be very relevant. Now, what is the relevance of Prime Minister Modi and what does he go there? Okay, by the way, even with the current Iran-Israel conflict happening, there are jets which are deployed in separate bases of UK. I think 6-7 jets and 1 tanker. And there'll be numerous jets even today who will be in Cyprus. And even at the time of Gulf War and all, there were a lot of jets who were coming and flying in and out of Cyprus. So Cyprus is the base, and there are a lot of naval assets which get parked there. I want to share you one of my experience. I used to live in Limassol, and in between, my house looked into the sea. In between my house and sea, there was just maybe a 10-meter, 15-meter road. Then there was sea. So one day I get up in a Sunday morning, 8 o'clock or something. I just on my that veranda balcony looking into the sea. Suddenly I see something coming out of the water. For the first time, I saw a new submarine come out. I had not seen a real submarine. So the point here is that submarine is the Cyprus is also a natural harbor. It's believed there are a lot of submarines which get there. Cyprus is a part of EU. I think it's a part of NATO as well, if I'm not wrong. And their hostilities with Turkey are for last 50 years. More than that, what the hostilities are. Very good oranges in Cyprus, yes. And oranges are in roads, you can just plug them. Nobody will ask you anything. Every tree has a hard orange. You can just plug them, eat them. People, beautiful. What is good about people? They respect India. They love India. Again, same Indian ethos. Why? Family and God. That is what with Greek people, and that is what is with Cypriot. Because they're essentially Greek people only. And the language spoken is Greek. There is no Cypriot language as such. The language spoken is Greek. I can speak a little bit of Greek. I learned all these years. So this is what Cyprus is about. And you can pick oranges and all. And again, like India, big festivities. You go to a village at somebody's, it will be grandfather's birthday. They will invite you. It's my grandfather, come to my village. You will have 200 people. Against 5-7 days of marriage, like the Indian wedding. Like there's a movie, A Big Fat Greek Wedding. It's something like an Indian wedding. And in Cyprus, it goes to the next level. So beautiful place, and very well-mannered people. They have great respect for India because Greek civilization and the Cypriot civilization and the Indian civilization is a very old civilization. They know the values. They know, how good we are, and we know and we appreciate how good they are. So there's a mutual love and respect, and you will not feel alienated in that country. But unfortunately, because of the Turkish occupation and all, the things have not been going pretty right there. Now, after Cyprus became a part of EU and all, so people have been hot and cold with them. I think the last time the Indian Prime Minister went there was 𝗤𝗲𝗍𝗍 in 2002, and he was accompanied by a delegation. I think before that, in 1982, if my memory serves me right, Mrs. Gandhi first, then 𝗤𝗲𝗍𝗍 in 2002, and now Dr. Jaishankar is now Dr. Jaishankar. I think he was there in 2022, if I'm not wrong. Now, it's after almost 20 years, Prime Minister Modi goes there. Now, what do we get from Cyprus, and what does the Modi's visit go there? So, first of all, you have to understand Modi's doesn't take a commercial flight like us, where, my routing is to Qatar or Doha. Let me get down at Doha and meet some people and then take another flight. His plane works to his command. His plane could have landed anywhere in the world, but his plane chose to land in Larnaca. Larnaca is the only airport there, and Nicosia is the harbor. So it chose to, kind of land in Larnaca. And from Larnaca, he got a stay, welcome, then there's a dinner and all. Even instantly, he got conferred the highest civilian honor. Even in Delhi, you have Archbishop Makario's Road, somewhere in South Delhi. So we and Cypriots and Greeks go long way, long way. It's generations old. So now Modi ji got the highest civilian honor. Now look at the background of the island. The island's background is a member of EU, member of European Union, essentially Christian Orthodox Church following country. And the image of Modi ji is a kind of a Hindu nationalist leader, if I may say that. So award to Prime Minister Modi is an important step wherein Cyprus acknowledges and agrees that Modi ji is not a regional figure, is not a local figure, is not only an Indian Prime Minister, he is a global figure now. Now, this recognition coming from an EU member, coming from a NATO member possibly, and coming from a Christian country which believes in Orthodox Greek Church is highly I'm not sure about a NATO. I said possibly, that's why I said. So is a highly is a big recognition, for an Indian Prime Minister. That's why I said possibly. I was not sure on the NATO point. So is a big recognition for Indian Prime Minister. That means India's civilizational ethos and civilization power gets validated in Cyprus. And this is not an award only to Prime Minister Modi. This is an award to 1.4 billion people. So far, as the award goes, I think 19th award, if I'm not wrong. 19th award, highest civilian award. Now, if you look at Prime Minister Modi is getting these awards from Christians, from Muslims, from pretty much every part of the world. So that Bharat evolving and emerging as a global superpower, as a global power bloc, gets validated by these awards. And Prime Minister Modi, what he had to say, this is not an award for me, this is for the 1.4 billion people of India. That is what he says, that is his modesty. He always says that. After that, so far it was all good. I will come to trade, I'll come to geopolitics, and I'll come to Turkish part. Now we came to know that Prime Minister Modi and the President of Cyprus, who came to receive him in the Larnaca airport, they went to a tour around Nicosia. Now, where is Nicosia? Nicosia is the capital of Cyprus, right? The airport is in Larnaca, and you go to Nicosia. From Nicosia, they went a place where exactly this line is, this UN line is. This is where the island gets divided. Across the line, the mountains which were referred to is Turkish part of Cyprus, and this is Indian part of Cyprus. This is not Indian, sorry. This is Greek part of Cyprus, or where Prime Minister Modi was. Now, incidentally, Cyprus has supported India always on Kashmir. Cyprus has supported India on Operation Sindoor. Cyprus has supported India everywhere. Now, with the mountains which you see, that is the illegal occupation of Turkey. And if you look at the illegal occupations, Dr. Jaishankar described it very beautifully. The biggest and the most long-standing illegal occupation of any part of the world is Kashmir, which is done by Pakistan for the last 75 years. And after that, it is this part of the island, which is an illegal occupation of Turkey. This has to be called out, and Prime Minister Modi, in a way, has rendered their full support, because Cyprus has given us our full support on Kashmir. Turkey has went and supported Pakistan. Turkey gave weapons to Pakistan. Though when there was an earthquake in Turkey, we sent the second biggest contingent in there. Israelis were the first one, and we landed second. If Pakistanis would have given us the airspace, we would have been first to land. We run Operation Dost. The people of Turkey loved us, respected us. But the leader of Turkey, who's basically an Islamist, who's basically a core jihadi by nature, has done everything wrong what he could have done, and he returned the favor by giving weapons to Pakistan to kill our civilians and kill our men in uniform. That is what it is. So after that, Prime Minister Modi went there, they showed there, and India has expressed full support to Cyprus, even for the part wherein Cypriots believe that this part should be again reunited with the mainland, and as per the UN resolutions. So India has given full support. And last time, when Dr. Jaishankar was there, Cypriots wanted a military cooperation with India, wherein a formal kind of I won't know, say formal, and a kind of a MOU kind of a thing is worked out. India has given weapons to Armenia, because last time, if you know, when there was a war between Armenia and Azerbaijan, it was the Turkish drones which tilted the thing in favor of Azerbaijan. Now they wanted Pinaka and they wanted other weapon systems for India, which India gave them. Dr. Jaishankar has promised promised Cyprus with the weapons, and there is a lot of business which happens between India and Cyprus. Not a lot, I'll tell you. A lot of Indians visit there. Secondly, there are a lot of Cypriots who come to India for education. And Cyprus has now started a lot of gas exploration in the Mediterranean, which we want to have a tie-up with them. The tourism is there, the culture is there, and a lot of things which are happening are there. But the main part is, now we are standing with Cyprus and we are showing to Erdogan like this. You talk of Kashmir, we'll talk of Cyprus. You try to needle us on Kashmir, we'll needle you on the Cyprus. And if you think you can give weapons to our adversary, the day is not far, we'll weaponize your adversaries and come to your back and then haunt you and tell you what you are worth of. Sir, you want to make a point? Ji. You're on mute, she said. Mute.
Thank you so much. There's a lot of history that goes back to the days of Alexander between India and Greece. And there were many coins printed. And I have with me a fantastic book called Dharma Yoga. And this book captured the essence of that period. I'm going to share with you some coins where the script on one side of the coin was Greek, on the other side it was Brahmi, which was the Sanskrit equivalent in those days. And I have here one picture, gold coin of Bactrian king Antiochus. He was called Yavana Raja. You guys can see it, right?
Yeah. Clear.
Yavana Raja. Yavana, see, Indians refer to the Greeks as Yavanas because I think they felt that the Greeks never grew old.
Yeah, they were always youthful.
Yes. So, this is a picture that this was in 270 BCE. So, post Alexander days, there was an empire called Bactria that got formed right after that. Again, Bactria maintained the same thing. They had the equivalent names in Greek as well as in Sanskrit, so you could understand who he was and what that person was. So that is one point I wanted to tell you. And I don't know how many of you know the Mauryan Empire. I have here a list of 9 kings. We know the first one, Chandragupta Maurya. We know the second one, Bindusara. We know the third one, Ashoka. Now, can you, viewers, list the remaining 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? I have the answer here. I'll give the answer once I see some responses from you all. So that's the importance of this book. And another thing I wanted to mention was all this currency research was done by Dr. R. Nagaswamy's daughter and son. And I regret to say that one of his daughters, Chandrakala, Dr. Chandrakala, she was a big cyber security expert. She passed away a couple of weeks ago, came as a total shock. He passed away. Dr. Nagaswamy passed away 2 years ago. I saw him 15 days before he passed. I was in India at that time, height of COVID, and very, very sad that things are happening so fast. This person didn't deserve to die. She was still working in University of Chennai, Anna University. Anna University or Madras University, I don't remember exactly, but it is very sad because her work lives on in this book. Dharma Yoga is a fantastic book, and if you get your chance, get it. It's available in many places. You can buy it and read it because it is one place where it captures the glory of Ashoka, not as a conqueror, but as a person who codified Brahmi script from left to right and Kharoshthi from right to left. All this was done when he was the governor of Takshashila. So viewers, there's a different dimension to Ashoka that we are not familiar with. That is covered here. It also covers all the various Buddhist monks who came to India to understand Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma, and so on and so forth, and Buddhism too. So very fantastic book. I would love for all of you to read it because it gives you in one book all the perspective. So let's get back to this story. I still have one more story to tell, but let's get back to what you're saying.
So now this is what the summary. Now Prime Minister Modi going there and pointing the finger like this and having a picture clicked with the Cypriot president makes a lot of sense. So the line is very clear. You talk Kashmir, we'll talk Cyprus. You intervene in Kashmir, we'll intervene in Cyprus. You try to Pakistan, will give all the weapons what Cyprus needs. Not only Cyprus, will give to Armenia, will give to Greece. Because if you look at the Khalifa or the Turkey, the problem he has with is, they consider it an axis. Turkey, Cyprus, and Azerbaijan. They consider it as a kind of an excess of Turkey or a kind of a one great big empire of Turkey. And the Khalifa lives in the perpetual hallucination of that Ottoman Empire, and he thinks he can redo it again and all. All these crazy people in the world think like that. So that is the fantasy he has. And now, if you look at Armenia will be a counterbalance to Azerbaijan, and Cyprus will be a counterbalance to northern Cyprus or the Turkish Cyprus. And now, if you can have a treaty and if you can arm Greece, I think Greece has asked for a BrahMos missile. I think we should supply to them. And if we can arm Greece and give them the weapons they want, that will be a counterbalance. So we are taking the fight back to his backyard. We are sending him a very, very clear message: don't mess with India. If you will mess with India, we'll come to your backyard and we'll make sure you cry and you crib. And we will arm your enemies. We will do everything to hurt your interests. And we'll make sure that your neighborhood is never peaceful. Because if you think India is a fenster now, India is a superpower which has made its mark. And if you think you can mess with India and go away with it, well, Mr. Erdogan, that is not happening. Those days are gone. It's not the conquerors. It's not the European power. It is Modi in power, and Modi made sure the first step after Operation Sindhu's fantastic win was Cyprus. He made sure it was Cyprus, because he wanted to send not a message to you, but to Pakistan, but to Iran, and possibly to the whole of the world, that Modi means business. And Cypriots responded very gracefully. We were thankful to them for the highest civilian honor and the kind of respect we have done. Let me talk a little bit of business, and let me talk what is in my wish list. Business-wise, oil and gas is there, tourism is there, and and the education is there. By the way, you will be surprised to know, friends, I don't know how to put it. Let me try to put it in a different way. We get around $70-75 billion of FDI in a year, $70-80 billion roughly. How much of that is contributed by Cyprus? $15 billion. Well, hold on. It doesn't come from Cyprus. It is routed through Cyprus. It doesn't come from Cyprus. It is routed through Cyprus. But technically, there's $15 billion of FDI which comes from Cyprus, because when I was there, Cyprus was a tax heaven. Was a tax heaven. Now it is a very liberally taxed country. I think the taxes today for corporates are 12-13%. There was a time when I was there, it was considered to be the biggest money laundering hub for Russians. And literally and you know what was good about Cypriot banks? They are flooded with money. You could go and get a loan anytime. If you're a Cypriot passport, you have no income or no, you get a loan. You can buy a car. For the first time, I saw those Bugatti bikes there, the teenagers having those bikes. I asked somebody, where do they find the money? He said, you just take a loan from the bank. So you get it? Yes. Everybody in my office had a Merc, nothing less than a Merc. That time Merc was, everybody had a Merc. I was the only one who was not having it. I had a Mazda. Everybody else had that. So that was the stature of the island, because it was full with Russian money. But now the things have changed. Still, it's a tax heaven. It's liberal taxing regime, 12-13%. And 15 billion gets routed through Cyprus. It is not Cypriot money, it gets routed through Cyprus. So I have to tell you that. So that is another part of the thing which you must know. And over and above that, there is some cooperation we are trying to do with minerals and also with them. And there are two things in my wish list. Look, the stature of India is growing, and I've been talking this wherever I got opportunity. The stature of India is growing. We have a couple of international air bases. The best deal, maybe Prime Minister Modi has done it. I'm not saying he has done it, I would have no information, is to get an air base in Cyprus. If you get an air base in Cyprus, swear to God, the stature of India raises this. Because then you look at your jets and look at the periphery your jets can cover. If you are allowed to deploy your subs, when next time a bloody ship from Erdogan's useless navy gets docked in Karachi, we can have a couple of ships and subs show up in Cyprus and Greece. That is how you respond, pay back. And imagine, forget Erdogan, even if you have your airbase there, if Cypriots give you a docking, and I told you it's a natural harbor. I have seen a submarine come out of water in my own eyes, with my own eyes. So there are a lot of things you can do. That will mean India's periphery or the sphere of influence, Sree said, with the weapons now we have, and with the 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗧 we have, we will have a big area which we will cover. And that will also prevent Erdogan from pushing around Cyprus and Greece in their economic, exclusive economic zones where he's trying to dispute a lot of things. So that will do. So imagine India being there. What is the firepower? What is the radius of our jets? What will be the radius of our submarines and ships? And if, I don't know, is it possible or not, if we can deploy some missiles there, you can see how much is the area we can cover. I don't know, can you deploy missiles or not? That is my earnest desire as a patriotic Indian. I want to see India's base there, because then you enter in the big league. I think even Russians don't have a base there. Americans have base, British have this, and you will be the third or the fourth country to have that base. And if you can imagine what you can control is phenomenal. And let me tell you another thing. If you want to really get those intel charters and get those big interceptions done at a bigger level, those massive antennas and interception equipment, where I have only seen in the world with my own eyes, that is Cyprus. Nowhere else I have seen that kind of infrastructure. So it is what I write here. It is a geopolitical gold mine, what Cyprus is. So Cyprus is not a small island. It is much beyond that. Though it's much beyond teaching a lesson to Erdogan, it will be cementing your legacy into an area where we have not really went before. So that is what Cyprus is, and that is what I could put in together. It's beyond economics. It's beyond so-called FDI routing. It's more geopolitical. It's more geostrategic in nature. And of course, you have to teach your adversaries a lesson. That is what this visit basically means and what we are trying to cover. This is exactly what Prime Minister Modi is given with the Cypriot president here. And in the backdrop, what you can see is the illegally occupied part of Cyprus called Turkish Cyprus. It is an illegal occupation. It's an illegitimate occupation. It is a sore on the world. It's a slap on the face of United Nations who have been trying to protect this people and it is a real food for thought for NATO. Do you want to have such people who are encroaching somebody's land to be a part of NATO? I will really urge them to throw this man out. Sir, over to you.
So before we go on to the next topic, my little story. First of all, I'll let two people have guessed the names. And let me just put up the first one who got it. Let me just bring that up. Yes, Apurva Chatterjee ji, you are the correct one. Dasharatha ruled from 232 to 224 BCE. Samprati from 224 to 215 BCE. Salisuka from 215 to 202 BCE. Devavarman from 202 to 195 BCE. Satadhanwan from 195 to 187 BCE. And Brihadratha from 187 to 185 BCE. As you can see, the range are very, very short because Ashoka ruled from 272 to 232 BCE, 40 years. Bindusara, 298 to 272, 26 years. Chandragupta Maurya, 322 to 298, 24 years. So this is where the Mauryan Empire started breaking down. Just wanted to share that. Plus, one small story. My colleague was visiting Greek islands. And what happened was they were on a cruise. And in the cruise, one man fell down and cut himself and he was bleeding badly. Now, you're on the ocean, right? So the ship captain called for help and doctor arrives. And this was on the border of Greece and Turkey. This man is bleeding profusely. And he asked the doctor, "Are you from Turkey? In that case, I don't want to be treated by you."
Excellent. I'll also share one short story of mine. My boss used to be, his name was Angelos Perez. He was the CEO of the company, and every day he'll say me, Sumito, he will call me Sumito, my Greek name. Let's go for coffee. So we'll go out and coffee and all. So I'll have coffee because I don't drink. He will have a couple of drinks. Now, a typical, very upmarket place in Cyprus, when you're down a couple of drinks, then they will start talking about Alexander and everybody will be euphoric. And if somebody starts a word about Turkey and so on, then you will say, what we say in Hindi, "Ma bahan ki gali shuru hona." There was everybody will say, no, it will say, then everybody. So I could see that thing. And that is pretty much there. And even after some time, I don't know, it's still true. Some time back, I think 10, 15 years back, there was no mosque in Greece. There was not even one mosque in Greece. And my last visit to Greece was just before COVID. That was my last visit to Athens, and I went to Aegina and all. That was my last. Of course, I went for some work. So these people are highly patriotic and very nice people. And what you say, right, sir? Even as a Turkish doctor, he will prefer to die but not get treated. I can 101% vouch. I was not there, but knowing the people, I can vouch how they are. That's the people there. Hardcore patriotic people. I think we have to let's move to that subject. Yes. Now, today was a very kind of a good, interesting subject because a lot of people don't know about this Cyprus. It's a very chota sa island. What is so great about it? Now, second thing is that, even permanent membership of UNSC, I mean, they're always supporting this. Whatever India has been doing, predominantly they support India on everything. About two, good friends are Cypriots and Greek people. Now there's something we want to talk about. Now, it is believed that, let us talk FATF first. Now, FATF today has issued a statement about the Pahalgam massacre. And FATF is strongly of the view, whatever happened in Pahalgam would not have happened without money being pumped into it. They have taken and believe that whatever happened is possibly involvement of Pakistan, and Pakistan has pumped money into it. And because of the money, this massacre could happen. So in a way, there is a recognition by FATF because India has given the proofs and all. India has told them our stand, whatever is our stand, and how Pakistan has been involved and how Pakistan has been funding and supporting terror. So FATF recognizes this. FATF agrees to this. FATF has issued a very, very strong statement in the favor of India and has criticized or indirectly named Pakistan and said this thing could not have been done before, if somebody was not putting no money around it. So what Pakistan has been claiming and talking about, that we have changed, we have refined, we are not funding terror. After this massacre and Operation Sindoor, it is very, very clear Pakistan is more dangerous than what it was before. And we have been requesting FATF, if you give them money, if you take them out of the grey list, the more money they have, the more jihad and the more terror will emanate out of Pakistan, because that is the only business they know. Beyond jihad and terror, there is nothing these guys know. They are only good at one business, that is international terror and perpetual state of jihad where they are fighting each other. That is what has been happening. And even if I have to give you an update, even what is his name? Khwaja Asif, just 1 or 2 hours back, said that Iran has not requested us for help, but if we are requested for help, then we'll consider military help as well. So even, they're trying to get into Iran-Israel conflict as well. So that's the problem with Pakistanis. So now the world and the FATF and the United States of America has to decide. So if you keep on giving them the money, more and more terror attacks would happen. Somewhere, I hate to say that, taking Pakistan out of the FATF grey list was one of the reasons, not the only reason, was one of the reasons why Pahalgam kind of attack happened. Because the moment these people get money, they will start doing something exactly like what they have done, because that is the nature of the beast. That is what the beast is made about. You give him food and shelter, he's not going to become vegetarian. If you give him, when he gets food and energy, he'll go and do attack on somebody else. It's a mad dog. He will keep on biting people. That is what the Pakistan. So India has done a fantastic job there. And let's see, does Pakistan go back to the grey list, or will they go to the blacklist? But blacklist, they will not go, because Malaysia, Turkey, and if one more, China, if they kind of abstain, so they can't then practically go to the grey list, blacklist. But honestly, if United States of America wants, because with US, there are around 22 countries which vote in the same pattern. If United States of America wants, Pakistan can go back to the grey list. So if you look at the IMF funding, if you look at the FATF grey list, if you look at the ADB loan, if you look at all the sources of money which are coming into Pakistan, if we can choke them a bit, if we can alter them a bit, that will help. But will it stop Pakistan's terror factory? The answer, unfortunately, is no. It will be a little bit of deterrence, it will be a little bit of friction, but the beast will not stop. He will still continue to attack. It might take him 2 years to again get back to life and attack again. They will attack again, and Pakistan will keep on attacking you till that time do not decimate Pakistan, till that time you do not break Pakistan into 4 parts. Look, we have to learn one thing from Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu said, till that time we do not render Israel incapable of ever attacking us again, our military objectives will not be met. That is the message which India has to even give to the world, and that is what the world has to take a responsibility. If these people keep on getting money, attacks like Pahalgam will not be only responsibility of the Pakistan, that the people even in FATF or wherever, World Bank, IMF, whoever give money to Pakistan, they in a way should be seen, would be seen, and possibly would be helping this terror to grow and take innocent lives. That is my take on it. But so far so good, but let's see how it turns. I'm very hopeful that they will go back to the grey list. That is what I have to add on it. Sir, you want to add on something?
Yeah, Sumitji, one of the things I wanted to tell viewers is that the Air India incident, AI 171, could itself turn out to be a proof of an act of terror. That's also still being probed. It's not been gone away, because people are a little bit confused from the lone survivor. He says he heard one big sound, one blast. But that would mean one engine is dead. What about the other engine? So that means the engine didn't die, but the electrical system controlling it died. How did the electrical system get disabled? And it had just flown. It had just flown multiple thousands of miles. So lots of still unanswered questions. And this could be another angle. I touched upon this with Sridhar Chityalaji. I'll have more information, but we are doing some research on this. So stay tuned. But also watch my morning monologue on Boeing's failures. From 737 to 787, there has been a systemic failures of many things where they were really trying to get as many planes out the door as possible and cutting corners in terms of quality. and do look at that one. And I'm also hearing, I don't know whether you followed this, another 787 got into trouble, but they ditched their fuel and landed safely. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
So there are other concerns that are beginning to pop up. So stay tuned. We'll have more updates on that one. Total 3 so far. So you can see that this is a pattern. And if you have not watched that monologue, please do look at it. It's not one whistleblower. There were 5 or 6, and 2 died. So
Yeah.
it's a serious matter. It's a serious matter, and I have about 19 or 20 reference links in that. It's a seriously researched document, guys. I don't want to come here and unnecessarily cast aspersions on a well-known company called Boeing. This is all the research that has turned up on this one. Do watch that and do read the research, because if you want to get a complete understanding of something, that's why we put all these reference links, so you can see for yourself what exactly happened. Now let's, I think we're done, right? Nuclear arsenal, did we touch on that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll just briefly touch on it. Basically, the Switzerland-based body 𝗟𝗍𝗆 says that the nuclear arsenal of India is more than that of Pakistan, and as per their estimates, it used to be around 172. It has climbed up to 180. Pakistan is at 172, and China is at 500, going to 600. So the big boys are Americans and Russians. After that, if you look at India and Pakistan, India has more nukes than Pakistan today, as per them. We can't validate it. That's what they say. And India has been constantly upgrading its nukes. There was a time when it was told that Pakistan has more nukes, but I don't know, are the nukes within Pakistan their own or not. There's a lot of contemplation which says they don't belong to the Pakistan asset. That's a different issue altogether. We are not going on them. But if we look at the mere numbers, so India's nuclear arsenal is increasing, and increasing at a pace which kind of outnumbers Pakistan. But if you look at the other side, the China's arsenal is increasing at a pace which is really, really big, which kind of outnumbers India by more than double. Even United States of America, and they have revised their national security document even at the time of Joe Biden, and they identified this, and they believe by 2030 there'll be 500 nukes which will be deployed on missiles, because usually all the nukes which get made don't get deployed on missiles. You store them in 3 different places, and you kind of assemble them and then deploy them. But there are some which are permanently deployed. So it is estimated by 2030 that China will have around 500 nukes deployed on the missiles. I think America, Russia has the nukes which are deployed on the missiles are in the tune of somewhere around 1,000, 1,050 each. So in next 5 years, we are talking of China coming to a number which is almost half of what America and Russia has right now. But today, we can have okay. As a good question, Mr. Like kar dijiye, please like it. We would really appreciate if you can like it. So but we will see how it works. How does it go? So that is a point of concern, which is, and China is building it. But we are ahead of the Pakistan, but we are not ahead of the China. And when it comes to deployed, we don't know the number, what is deployed of India and what is deployed of Pakistan. Obviously, India will have more deployed. And India with advanced weapon delivery system, and India being a nuclear triad, the impact radius of our nukes and the impact capability of our nukes is much higher than that of Pakistan. And there are only 4 countries, I believe, in this world which are a nuclear triad now. And India is one of them, which gives us a place which a lot of countries in the world don't have. But still, it's not we are trying to get into a nuclear race and all. Pakistan is not a nuclear triad. We are a nuclear triad. But it's not we are trying to get into the race of making nukes and who makes more bombs. But this is for the information that India is still ahead. And there are things done in the back end which may not be known, which may not be spoken. But we have no information. I know the question is going to come, how many are deployed? We don't have any information of that. And I don't think there's any information in the public domain on that. So that is where that small topic is, that India's nuclear arsenal is increasing. We are not behind Pakistan in any way whatsoever.
Thank you so much, Sumit ji. We have a few questions from our viewers. Let's start with the questions now. Vishnu Gopi ji, if you could not type everything in uppercase, that would be very appreciated, Vishnu ji. Because, see, something all caps is looked at as if you are angry, and you are not at all angry. Your question is a very good one. So just type it, normal stuff. Sumit sir, is Iran losing its missile launch capacity or waiting for Israel to exhaust its missile defense? What is the status of the war? 𝗟𝗡𝗏𝗍𝗍 paid Russians dollars?
Okay, I'll answer it. It's a big topic in itself, but I'll answer it very briefly. In today's episode, you can ask any questions. It can be out of the syllabus also, not a problem. The first thing is, look, Iran, last 2 days, they have fired only 150 missiles and all. Now, if I go by Irani version, I have few lakh missiles sitting and I can fire them and all. They are not firing them. My estimate says that Iran has 5 days of missile power left, not more. Even the last time the estimates were 300 missiles, I think they've already fired 350 to 400 so far. They might have brought up the stockpile to 800, 1000. So there's not a lot of missiles which are left with Iran. That's point number one. A lot of those have been destroyed. If you look at the broken bridge and all the operations of Mossad and others. Second thing is that Putin has warned Khomeini in person, saying, you and your regime are not safe. Point number three, Israeli said last night, look, if you kind of attack our civilians, we'll eliminate Khomeini in 1 week. And last night, all the attacks which happened were on civilian infrastructure. Israelis targeted the military infrastructure. Iranis targeted all the civilian infrastructure, main hit at Tel Aviv and Bethlehem. There are 2 places. I think 13 civilians died, 140 injured. And on the other side, there are a few hundred deaths and few hundred injured. So that is where the things are vis-a-vis them. And Khomeini is not out of bonds. The most disturbing part is what I'm going to tell you now is that I heard that Israelis have declared that if you are attacking our civilians, we'll also target your civilian infrastructures or your civilian complexes. So let's see how it goes. I think tonight there'll be a lot of escalation because Israelis have called a strike protocol alpha, where there are 5 components, 4 are static. The 5th component, they keep on changing the game. So yesterday they attacked a city called Mashhad. Mashhad is the second biggest city on that side, opposite side of Natanz and all. It is near Pakistan and Afghanistan. It was a very clear message to Pakistan and Afghanistan, nobody's out of bonds. Mashhad is the second biggest city. The IRGC had a big ammunition and a logistic hub there, which is destroyed. Jet fueling, refining and storage capacity is destroyed. So their jets, whatever are left, and drones will have a lot of problem. And it's also holy place. It's where I think Imam Reza and Shahi Imam are kind of buried. It's a very auspicious place for the Iranis. And this is the place where in Pakistan and Afghanistan, they run a corridor. They run a corridor there. And it's believed that ISI has a good reach up to that place. So the message is very clear to ISI and the message is very clear to Afghanistan. Stay out, and you'll be happy to know Pakistan officially has shut down their border with Iran. So that this is where it looks to be right now. So if Khomeini ends up in Russia, don't be surprised. If Khomeini ends up dead, don't be surprised, because Israel has categorically given him 1 week's time. We'll eliminate you. And let me add on here, there were 2 assassination plots, which were made by Israel to eliminate Khomeini, not to get into this mess. Donald Trump, our great uncle, we told them. He said, no, don't kill him. So this is, as I'm quoting Fox News as a source. Fox News has run this story. So things there are pretty much turbulent. This night will be very, very important. I think today you will see might of Israel at its best. There will be a lot of devastation in Iran. Let's hope how things go. So.
And Russia has offered Khomeini safe passage to Russia. So that's also happening, and just on the other side.
मैंने बोला था ये सब रशिया में मिलेगा. I've been telling you one day you'll find all of them in Russia. Even Xi Jinping will go to Russia. Take my word. One day he will have Xi Jinping also. I told you Putin will make a new castle. He said you want Bashar Assad, room number 31. Khomeini, room number 471. Xi Jinping, second floor 321. And he will have this. And so he will say, people, look guys, I have all these characters here. If you mess with me, I'm going to open the key. I'm going to open the lock. Then you go and handle the world. So I won't be surprised, because Putin had warned him directly that your regime and life is in danger. So this is official now.
Thank you, Rajesh Nayyar for becoming YouTube member. Thank you, Prakash Haldankar, for becoming YouTube member. Kalyan Ram Ganti wants to know, will Iran attack US-friendly Gulf countries and invite huge retaliation from US, or confine its missile attacks to Israel?
Look, if this regime gets desperate, they can go to any level. Even there was American embassy which got attacked yesterday. Now, the initial information we had, only the periphery got hit. Maybe some missile missed and it felt and all. But when the embassy was opened, I saw the videos. They have hit the embassy. It is not the periphery. The damage within the embassy is quite big. So they have targeted the American embassy. And American embassy or any embassy in the world is America. So that piece of land on Israeli soil is America. Even the piece of land what we have in India as the American embassy is America. When you step in India, that land, that boundary is America. So basically hitting an embassy is kind of targeting the might of America. And Donald Trump even yesterday said, I'm enjoying the war. I'm not going to interfere. And Israel has a right to defend itself. And with it, he said, look, if you're going to target America or American interests, we'll come after you with our full might. He used the word with our full might. So these Iranis are crazy. They can go to any level. And by the way, Mohammad Parkazin, just before 2 hours when I checked last, he has called all the Islamic countries to get together and fight Jews. Usual. That is not unusual. So that is what is happening. Yes, he can attack the neighboring Gulf countries if push comes to shove. He has a very deadly and dangerous proxy with a lot of missiles, which is Houthis. And Houthis have been firing a lot of missiles here and there. And it is also top. There are a couple of missiles which missed the Iron Dome for last. If you look at me, I'm awake whole night. I'm just watching it. I don't sleep. Last 2-3 days, I'm not sleeping practically. Now, there are a couple of missiles which have missed and which have pierced the Iron Dome. It is believed to be some kind of a hypersonic missile, which they have used. If you look at the hypersonic missile technology, there are only 3 or 4 countries who have it. So in all possibility, if there's a hypersonic missile, which is believed to be there is one, which Iran is using, that missile is given to them then by People's Republic of China, because nobody else can give that missile to them, because the technology itself is with 3 or 4 countries. You do a selection by elimination, you will know who can give them that technology. So the things are not looking rosy. Yesterday night, Tel Aviv was a bit hit. Tel Aviv was hit and Bethlehem was hit, I told you. So, and they're targeting the residential complexes or the areas, which is pretty bad. Let's see how Israel retaliates, and Israel is going to retaliate today hard. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Next one, please. Rasheshwarnath Rana. Is America destroying itself? We have scholars from Australia who are prepping China when China is destroyed as an economy. Well, you'll hear all these narratives. Everybody is paid. I mean, these days, they used to joke that Kevin Rudd was a Chinese citizen. He happened to be the Prime Minister of Australia. So these are things that have been happening over a while. Go ahead.
And this is the concept of Mr. Rana. This is the concept of intellectual moats. Even when the deal was recently brokered between America and China, one of the things what made Chinese to come down, they were posturing a lot, is when Marco Rubio said, I'm throwing out all these 300,000 Chinese students out of America. That was the thing which made them shake, because that will kill their pride, and all the espionage products and everything they had in mind will be put in a box. So today, because of rare earths, Trump had to cut this deal. Maybe in 1 or 2 years when America develops its supply chains and India also is developing its supply chains, the last trump card in the pocket of Xi Jinping will no longer be effective. So this is where the things are, and there are a lot of narratives which are being spun. Let's not forget CCP acknowledges spending few billion, around $5 billion on propaganda. They acknowledge 5, might be 25. There are few 100,000 people who work for CCP doing all this. And the person who carried bioterror, that dangerous fungus, into America, the lady who was studying in MIT or wherever, the lady was a member of CCP. CCP was paying for her education in America. This is also a reality of life.
Next one, please. Magnet Ranga wants to know, Namaskar Sumit, while all of us are happy at the reception and respect Modi ji gets internationally, and so does Bharat under Modi ji, but it pains that Congress still mocks him.
No, Congress was mocking him on 2 things. One is the Cyprus thing. The second was about this the census which was announced by the government today. So Congress had a lot of problems with that, and I was on a TV debate, and the spokesperson didn't have an idea why the problem is. She could not explain when 2 things where the problem is. Now look, there have been 2-3 things which have happened. Now standing up to Turkey, going to Erdogan's backyard and calling him out, pointing a finger at him like this. Now India did not do that. There was a time India was a fence sitter, idhar bhi udhar bhi. Now India has taken a side. Secondly, after Sindoor, you plan to stop by Cyprus. Point number 3, you had a fantastic victory in Operation Sindoor. Now, people are saying that 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗥𝗡 can be the multi-billion-dollar defense system if India wants to sell it. And there are a lot of people who say we should give this system to Israelis if they want it. Point number 4.
Oh, there's a signed deal. The 15,000 crores. Israel has already signed a deal. But it takes time to deliver, right? It's not like you can't just, it's not sitting in your godown. Go ahead.
So, and even with that, even with that, now you have taken the biggest poor plank out of Congress, which could have given them Karnataka, Telangana, and Bihar election. So when Congress gets rattled, they start being, they lose the sense of proportion. And when they lose the sense of proportion, they don't know what to talk. Then the emotions rule over words. And when emotion rules over words, and a person like Jairam Ramesh literally starts abusing English. And what you are referring to, Ranga sir, is the comment of Jairam Ramesh, where he abused English today. I mean, these people have gone bananas. They have gone crazy. They don't know how to handle. And what they're surprised is at the timing of Modi ji. That perfect timing that BJP has. So that is why they get upset and you are right. They should have not chosen this timing. They could have chosen some other day. But when the nation is in a way celebrating, you go and start doing all this, you only lose more and more credibility. Next.
Sabyasachi Semwal wants to know, sir, why USA is not utilizing this opportunity and go for a full regime change? Why Trump is finding other ways when this war can give a lot?
I think, my friend, there are 3 things which are happening in Iran. First thing, Americans love regime change. They want a regime which is pro-America in any country, in every country rather. So don't think, what is Shah's son doing in Virginia? He has expressed his desire to go and be a part of the political system in Iran. That's point number 1. So, and minus him, there will be a lot of American proxies which will be ready. Russia is also trying to have their their set of people in the helm of affairs. That's why I've been telling you, they will not touch Mohammad Parkizin. He will not be touched. He has a future potential, not others. Point number 3. You know what happened yesterday? I was surprised to know that Iran has a communist party. Do you believe it? The Communist Party of Iran has come.
No, Sirji, it was very strong. It was very strong till 1979. It was the communists who brought in the Islamists. The first thing the Islamists did was to get rid of the communists. Chun ke unko maar dala tha.
And these communists, after 50 years, have got up again. They said, this is the time to do the revolution. No, if you say communist, they are funded by China. They are China ke bande hai. So I think Americans, Russians, and Chinese, everybody is trying to have their power play in the new set of things. So if Khamenei exits the scene, that will be the best thing to happen, because they will put everything on Khamenei. He goes on exile, a new system starts. And by the way, Natanz is a done and dusted deal. International Atomic Energy Agency says there's no radiation leak, but I can give you in writing to anybody, it's 100% radiation contaminated. You may not have a radiation leak, but the radiation contamination is within the nuclear contamination is within the complex. It may not leak, right? But inside the facility, the nuclear contamination has already happened, because one thing, if you look at International Atomic Energy Agency, it says the cyclotrons were stopped abruptly due to electricity failure. It's sort of 𝗥𝗙𝗍𝗍 at your home, the bijli gayi and it will just stop. When they stop, a lot of things happen out of control. So there are a lot of things which have happened, and Israel has really done it. And I would have loved to explain how was it done, but we don't have time for that. And there's another notion which a lot of people must get out of their head. I had a kind of a argument with somebody on a TV debate. The notion is that you only know GBU 70, GBU 75s to destroy. No. The GBU 75s are used to destroy if your facility is 61 meters down the ground. Every facility is not that deep, cannot be that deep. Natanz is only 8 to 23 meters. And the weapon which was used is GBU 27 𝗍𝗲𝗍 3, which is with Israel, and GBU 28, bunker buster. A combination of that with F-35s and Mossad doing whatever they had to do in the periphery. That combination dismantled Natanz. That is how it was used. And all these weapons are with Israel. The weight of GBU 27 𝗍𝗲𝗍 is 900 kilos, and the weight of GBU 28 bunker buster is 2,200 kilos. GBU 75, where you need a B-2 bomber, is 14,000 kilos. It's a different category of bombs altogether. But Natanz is done and dusted.
Moab, mother of all bombs.
वो तो बाप है, बाप है. 3-level detonation. One is kafi. You don't need to send F-16. कुछ नहीं भेजना. One, tak, it will destroy everything. So that is the mother of all bombs. So, and you don't need to send F-35s and all. And by the way, F-35 ADR was used for the first time by Israelis, and it proved to be wonderful. It did a wonderful job. It was used against Natanz only. So, I mean, we may say whatever we want to say to the American tech. Imagine a J-35 going there. Sir, you could have shot down with a Gulel, sling. You could have shot down with a... Nothing happened. Today, there were Israeli jets on Tehran skies for 7 hours. Just घूम रहे थे ऐसे. This is free. Okay. No air defense. It's a done and dusted deal, brother. Trump is also playing his game.
And viewers, there's also one other possibility with Iran. It is believed that the northern part of Iran is much more closer to Zoroastrianism, which is sort of an offshoot of Hinduism. And to understand how all those things evolve, you need to watch our video called Shukracharya. Do take a look at it. Many of you have written comments, very nasty comments, the bunkum and all that. I have told you again and again, please read the research links provided. Don't just shoot from your mouth because you don't agree with what is being there. But it is possible that the northern part of Iran could secede from the southern part, and that could itself, seek help from India, because the connect is so strong. Also remember, there is a department of Sanskrit in Tehran University. Even today, articles are written, books are published on Sanskrit. 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗏 was from that area.
नहीं sir, link तो है. It's a great civilization. The people are good. Only this bloody mullah regime has spoiled and screwed up everything.
Right.
And what you're saying, absolutely right. So the people who write comments, there are people who come with a Hindu name. And mostly these Pakistanis who use a Hindu name and a picture, and then they start showing their real awqat. Their comments tell you they are from Pakistan. Most of them are Pakistanis with a disguised Hindu name.
I mean, if you don't even bother to read the research, you can rebut with facts. There is no problem. But to rebut with facts, you need to read and understand what is given by way of reference links. Then you rebut it. Yes. Next question, please. See, I'm trying to take the, even comments, right? I'm trying to take it to the higher level. So people, the thinkers, start thinking about it. इसने वो कहा, उसने ये कहा. No, we need to go beyond that. Next one. Dr. Ahuja wants to know, churches in Turkish-occupied Cyprus have been converted to mosques and tourists are taken there for sightseeing and UN force sits by. Sumit Sahib, UN lost its credibility a long time back.
Bilkul, sir, I agree. I have been to that part of the Cyprus. You have to take approval because I had a residence permit. You have to take approval and come back. So I took approval. This 2-page form they wanted to fill, and they give you a kind of a 1-page of it. You can go back and when you ask the show. I have seen that as a horrible thing, and that's why I told you when you go by Dr. Saab, you feel like you're 50 years back into time. You will not see this development. You will not. It looks a different country. I mean, this part of the Cyprus, Greek part, and the Turkish part, they look a different country. You can see those clothes hanging. It looks like that Persian. If you watch those movies where they show you old Persia, which was kind of developing. So they reduced that. And what I'm coming to know that Erdogan has made sure a lot of Islamists and jihadis have been permanently settled there because that is where his foothold, they ensure his foothold on the island. So UN has failed, sir. I completely agree. I mean, I'm the person who says that they're agreeing they're occupying the most expensive real estate in America, and the return of investment for that real estate in the American scale of things should be zero, should be counted as zero.
Next one, please. Dayanand Babu says, when China talks about Kashmir, we should talk about Tibet, right?
Of course. We should talk about Tibet. And, our neighbor is Tibet. I mean, I firmly believe we have a border with Tibet. China was this much. It has swallowed this much. And if you look at, I was watching one of the interviews of MBS, I think 2019 or 20. You know what he talks about Khomeini? He talks about Khomeini is the Hitler of the Middle East. He says Hitler had these territorial ambitions and Khomeini has territorial ambitions. He says it's all Islam and all is a facade which he uses. Basically, he wants to expand and he wants to have this Shia empire and Shia domination in the Middle East, and that is Islam, and all this just, and that black dape and that dadi and all that beard and all is a facade which he uses for his political ambitions. That is what we typically call political Islam. And when you talk of China, Tibet is an illegal occupation. Tibet is not a part of China. Inner Mongolia is not a part of China, and the territories they have taken from other countries are not a part of China. Even time has come that the United States of America, India, and possibly Russia, I don't know, can they do it or not? At least out of the B4 countries, you should come up with a unified policy that will not recognize this one China policy. Will not recognize this one China policy. The time has come to call it a day. So why should we recognize this one China as a concept? We should get rid of it.
Thank you, thought provocateur. Interesting comment. Iran is run by mullah and Trump regime by mullah.
Kya kare bhaiya, America ऐसे ही चलता. That's how America works. But the danger, the good part is you give mullah, you can get a piece of life, mullah. Huh? But if you go to mullah, he will take the mullah and not still. That is the difference.
Thought provocateur, thank you so much. His name is 𝗏𝗡𝗍𝗍 for a reason. Always sounds drunk. Jairam Ramesh.
And today he was using that absurd English. I don't know where does he get those words from.
Aprameya wants to know, Sumitji, has Israel told India's line of not falling to nuclear blackmail by Iran?
If there are two people who have recently dismantled the theory of Islamic bomb was made and meant against India and Israel only, because they could not dare to challenge the might of the Christian world, because if they do, they have no chance. But I think Prime Minister Modi and Benjamin Netanyahu has really shattered that. And if you look at how the periphery of the nuclear sites is cracked and how they are kind of contaminated, is exactly Operation Sindoor model, wherein again the periphery was attacked, the radiation did not leak, but the site got contaminated. Site became useless. And that is exactly, it's a playbook. I was asking Israel, they say, guys, you should pay us for the IPR. We invented, right? We have the patent. We should pay us some friendly fees for that. But it's good. So, these nuclear bluffs by these hegemonic countries have to be called off. And I was not happy with President Trump talking to Iranians. Maybe there were some political compulsions. But the way Israel is treating them is the only language they understand. Look, Donald Trump gave them face, gave them everything, gave them respect. Do they now understand the language of respect, trust, and faith? No. They only understand one language. When the bombs come and say boom, that's the only language they understand.
Next one, please. Kaveri Maindan wants to know, opportune moment for India/US/Israel to take out Pak nukes, given the statement from Iranians.
Knowing this, now that there's quite a bit of a grapevine, I would say, I don't know how to put a better word, that the nukes don't belong to them. And if you look, there's one clip of Joe Biden. He was mostly not in best of his times, but he said Pakistan cannot use their nukes. It's not possible. How did Joe Biden? That's a very viral clip. He says, oh, they can't use their nukes. So there is something about the nukes which it's like, how do I say? It's like, when I go to my parking lot, I find a lot of cars. I can stand in front of anybody and picturize my Merc, my Porsche, my Lamborghini, but they don't belong to me. So is that the real scenario? So you can't take away from me what doesn't belong to me. And I believe, I don't know, there are a lot of nukes which are still left with Pakistan. And these guys ultimately will disintegrate. Honestly, nukes cannot be used. If you ask me in today's time, nukes cannot be used. They are only for deterrence. And even that deterrence is cracked, because if you think you can run jihad, and these nukes can be a smoke screen, that has been shattered already. Nukes for a normal country is fine. Deterrence is good. But if you run jihad and you use these nukes as a smoke screen or a kind of your alibi to do jihad, say, because we have nukes, we can do any kind of jihad, and we can decide to eliminate a civilization. Well, that bluff is gone, man. That is gone.
Next one, please. Suresh Kumar, Sumit ji, who will occupy room number 420? ये जो Putin का hotel है.
हाँ, 420 Mullah Munir, best person for that. She's not Xi Jinping. We'll give him 8. With Chinese, you give him 888, luckiest number. We'll make a
8 number बहुत lucky है. हाँ.
We'll make a room with 888, not 4 times 8. Otherwise, that is death. 3 times 8. So we'll make a number 88888 times. So we'll make a number for Xi Jinping. He can live there perpetually, and he can dream to be the emperor of the world. And what we can do, we can also ask Vladimir Putin, request him. Just watch the movie The Last Emperor. That Emperor 𝗏𝗼 used to have those, a couple of people around him, and he was still given an illusion and delusion of the emperor of China. We can again create that illusion and delusion. We can get some Chinese artists and make him feel the emperor, and make him give the illusion that he's still controlling the world. That can be done. I think Putin can do that. He's a nice guy. He will do that.
Sarji, number 8 is also Shani Bhagwan.
हमारे में है ना, उनमें थोड़ी है.
ये आर्ट अलग है, वो आर्ट अलग है.
We are more smart. Anyway, I will agree. We are more smarter than anybody.
Thought provocateur, thank you once again. We only recognize bone China, not one China.
Or we should call them China. We should not even call them, we should call them China. And, this one China policy, honestly, the time has come wherein the world needs to contemplate. This is not sustainable. This is a lot of baggage. You're carrying a lot of baggage. You're carrying a lot of load on you. What are you going to get from China? Whatever you have to got, whatever you could have get, you have already got them. And it's a matter of time. Another 1-2 years, the rare earths will be settled. Then no trump card with China. What is China going to offer to the world? Nothing. And yesterday when we talked, the way they are aging and those millions of people which are disappearing. So guys, wake up. In the long run, why are you putting your money here? Koi fayda nahi. Put the money here. Put the moolah with India. That's where you're going to get dividends. At least, worst case, our demographic dividend is for next 7 decades. 7 decades assured. Now you have to think where you should put your money on. I mean, there's no need to think. Don't ask me. Look at the numbers. Take a call. China is history. It's a used. It's a used gunna. When we have the sugar canes, we have this. India, we have those, 2 rolling wheels. We put, there in South India, not. In North India, you put the gunna once, or you put the sugar cane once. There's the X amount of juice comes. Then he will put it again. Then he will fold it, put it again. So China is on that 3rd stage. You're just extracting that last bits of juice from them. Or don't waste your time with them. Even the world leaders should say, go to hell with your one China policy. Do it that. Xi Jinping will run to Russia. And 888 is booked for him.
Thank you so much, Sumit-ji. And there are stores in the United States, in our area, where on some days of the week, they give you fresh Ghana juice. Like the way you mentioned. They have the machine, they'll take orders, you can drink standing outside. It's very safe because it's done in front of you. And the first round, they put nimbu inside the, split one. Second time, adrak goes in. Things of that nature. Very tasty stuff. So thanks once again, Sumit-ji. And let's take now the Ashirwad of Mahadev.
On that note, friends, I have to only say 2 things. Please press the like button if you're not. That really helps us. Please put it on your WhatsApp groups. That really helps us. And please trust us with your viewership, because we are working very hard to get the most appropriate things in the shortest possible time. A lot of what we have seen always comes true. And we as a channel are always innovating. We never stop innovation. We keep on trying. That is the USP. On that note, we know your love and trust will be always with us. Bharat Mata ki jai, Vande Mataram. Om Namah Parvati Pataya. Har 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 Mahadev.